Hey, it's James, and welcome to another edition of AniTube Digest, where we go over the best and not so best anime YouTube videos. Not quite. Top anime YouTube creators that I think were worth talking about this year. Yeah, I said I wasn't gonna do one of these, and it was because I was doing other stuff. I was tired, not so much, a little deflated, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it for the beginning of the year, and I have this other work I gotta do. So I can't just release a retrospective like a week out from the year. People won't care, and it's like they don't care. Do it. Just make it. I think people would appreciate it. That wasn't me saying it. It was a mutual of mine. Thank you. You know who you are. That was just like, come on, just do it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But so I think I'm just gonna go the same kind of similar route that I did last year, where I'm not focusing on videos per se, and more so trying to give a broader swath of like people, creators, and their journeys and stuff like that. I find that more interesting. And we're doing it a different format as well. So all their channels are just going to be listed in the description. There's 15 of them. Because I'm going to go through their actual channel and however the videos I remember and things I like and stuff. And I apologize if I might not be able to have specifics of, particular videos, but we'll see how this format goes. We change it every year, so why not? Also, every creator of the 15 I chose here is different from the 15 I chose last time, because I didn't want to just like, of course they had another incredible year, just kind of repeat myself. But yeah, Cineclinic is like one of the best anime YouTubers we have. Yeah, he had another banger year. He further refined his content, etc., etc. Steven, obviously, Bob Samurai, yeah, like my favorites, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry I haven't included other people, but I decided to choose creators that I followed that have left an impact on me, that were really active and prolific this year, except for one. The first one these first couple are in this category of like more honorable mention, or just sort of a slightly different category in a way. But I think it's only appropriate to start this video talking about Ygg Studio, who retired earlier this year. Not earlier this year, really. It was more like September, I think. August, September. And yep, kind of blaze of glory in a way, especially putting out 420 plus anime recommendations that kind of collapses in on itself, and you really see Trixie run aground like in real time, like just right there in front of you. Kind of was her intention to quit after this big marathon of videos, like another kind of Miyamafa of sorts. And there was a lot of interesting stuff in here. But like I said, I in that digest with her retirement announcement, I feel like if I would have preferred that it was something at the beginning of the month, so we can kind of properly prepare ourselves, I guess. But it was an incredibly prolific year for her. What a way to go in a way. It's towards the end of last year, but We Have Forgotten Love. I think I count that in last year's digest, but like literally like a few days into the year, already finally reviewing LGH, this video of fully rejecting her previous persona and kind of the changes and difficulties and everything like that, and kind of a post-mortem of sorts of her career up through that point. And really was just sort of a last ditch effort to really make this to really go for this, to really make this her living, and seeing it not pan out the way she wants it to, the way any of us would have wanted to see it too as well. It was just something. It was a really riveting and compelling thing to watch happen, I think, for a creator. And there was another creator that's kind of in a similar position that I'll talk about later, that's just like seeing them very publicly not melt down. It wasn't like, Trixie had lost the plot or anything. I mean, people could argue that, but I mean, I didn't have that sense, and I was just kind of like taking whatever comes, I guess. but yeah, like this was just something that was just really fascinating to see. And I think that the real silver lining and good thing about this is just that she seems extremely happy. It's a hard gauge judgment call. I've never met her personally, and we've only talked once, but it just seems that she's enjoying her newer life of continuing this constant travel and seeing the world and everything. It's just really encouraging. And but yeah, I just wanted to reflect on it here at the beginning. She's the other creator. She's the only creator on here that was from the previous list. But yeah, I do miss her stuff. But like, I think it's what any fan, if any actual fan of hers or any creator would say is like, you do what's happy for you. You've enriched our lives, so it's only fair that you enrich your own life, and that you do what you want to do. So yeah, nothing but support and love. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, just wanted to start with that. Yeah, like I didn't want to call this this section of these first couple like not goods or something. It was sort of like when I mentioned Neuralities last year, where she had a remarkable year, regardless of my thoughts on it or whatever. It wasn't like it was straight trash every video of hers. It was rocky and interesting to watch her stuff that year. And Bennett's very similar. He was really getting this incredible spurt of kind of a new life, and instead of doing like his reviews and occasional stuff like this was around the time where he really tackling Netflix Bebop was kind of a second win for him. Not a second win, but like a win that like, oh, I'm close to 100K. Let's really start working, really caring and putting a lot of work and detail into this stuff. And this was the first big example of that. Really talking about Harmageddon in a more objective, sympathetic almost. Although he says in this review, in this video, has Rintaro ever made a good movie? Which is stupid. And it's very dumb point. And it's not really perfect. It's very similar stuff. And obviously, I made an entire video almost the same length as his own Evangelion Part 1 video. A lot of spectacularly interesting stuff in that one. But it pushed him to 100K, which is a really big deal. And it's like, he deserves it after work in like literally 10 years, because it was 2012 when he reviewed Eva, and then 10 years afterwards. It was just a big deal. It was really great to see, I think, and it's just encouraging from creator to creator, I guess, for me. And it was kind of interesting to watch his stuff. I did enjoy this video, and then it's interesting to see him adapt this new strategy, because I remember he would be in like an airport and just type in, so like, what's the worst takes you got? And he would like quote tweet with a lot of his responses of like really bad shit. And now he's just kind of turning it into a video format. And I haven't been commenting on them. I don't think I may have commented on the School Days video, but I haven't. People have sent me some clips of the Naruto mid one, which is whatever. I haven't been really interested because I guess the format's a little strange for me. With Let's Argue and Let's Fight, which Joey also kind of bit off of Needle Drop in that way. I think Bennett is taking this a little too formally. He's kind of incorporating his normal anime abandon, pretty well edited, scripty kind of voice in the chair, and like it feels like a formalized video, so his thoughts are formalized, but I can tell based on his answers or just in general that they're not written. I don't know, they're not like, the answers aren't like as formally well thought out as the video makes it look out to be. It's off the cuff, which is the format. It really is just sort of reacting to a person's take and everything. I feel like the visual component has to complement that, otherwise there might be some dissonance and people are like, what are you talking about? There's some weird discrepancies, or it's a diss something. I forgot what the word for it is, but like it's just strange, So that, whatever. And I didn't talk about the High School of the Dead video, but I also like that even with this one, it's a lot more of a holistic take a seat back and not really getting too worked up over certain scenes or something like that. It feels like he's trying to be a bit more thoughtful and constructive and holistic, like big picture. And it's also cool to see him like tackling these more modern shows, 2010 or 2010 I think. But what was it? But they're like actual whole TV series. You've done that. He did that before, like years ago with like Big O and whatever. But just seeing that more often, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. He just had a remarkable year that was worth mentioning here, I thought. Yeah. Congrats again on the 100K. Well deserved. And this is the other creator where it's like, I have my problems with her vids from what I've seen, but there's in terms of additive content, I think it's impressive actually, because she was able to unearth some pretty significant stuff with Saban Moon, and then Saint Seiya's this like cartoon that we had no idea of. This, and I think it was a pilot, and I think she just shows the opening. I don't know if she has more of it. That's kind of a forthcoming thing for this year. But she's certainly a creator to watch in this regard, for someone who's really doing these investigative documentaries. And I think there have been chunks of these big videos and these big projects that have been really constructive and interesting and compelling. And I can't deny that the work putting involved in the video component is impressive, and a lot of love and effort into that. She's blocked me because I think I mentioned some kind of cynical, all that being said, I still think there's issues, and I've talked about every major video like this, I have a video of my talking about them in those various digests. But I get it. I think she's getting a lot of heat for various things in different places, and that's what you get when you're dealing with the anime fans, I guess. But I think the value there is worth mentioning, and they're big projects. They're just these big drops kind of deal, which I think is worth mentioning, at least, despite my qualms and reservations, I guess, that they don't necessarily need to be that long. And it's really running into that YouTube thing that it's kind of turning a YouTube plus, a thing that's normally a plus, into a bit more of a negative for me, where documenting the process of making the video and making not like the video itself, but like the narrative of like, I couldn't get any leads, and then this and that, and that being the video and why it's so long, and that compelling narrative is the content instead of the results, or I guess the thing that's like worth taking out of or worth taking away from. It doesn't need to be this big long thing, but again, it's more of an extreme exacerbated version of that that I think Raymona touches on here. And that's my personal perspective as someone who's watched these videos. That's like large stretches of like, that literally went nowhere. Why did you include that if it didn't go anywhere, or didn't seem to add, at least in the moment, right? And you can make the argument like a big picture type of thing, but as a viewer who's watching it for the first time, you have to think about that. What are they thinking in this moment? Where am I guiding the audience in this documentary, right? So yeah, it's sort of it's a very even mix of stuff. It's very interesting to talk about, and I'm looking forward to what else she's got for this coming year. Okay, so this next section of sorts, and each of these sections I have them in like alphabetical order, so it's not like there's no ranking or anything here. But this next chunk, there's these two YouTubers that were very valuable and additive content purely on the anime watching experience and not necessarily their contributions, although their contributions are part of it for sure. And their hard work is, I'm not just saying they're just uploading this shit, whatever. Kineko Video, they were around for last year as well. But their kind of claim to fame was doing that Daikon 3 restoration, which kind of fell through. I don't think it was a full cease and desist, but it was like we talked it out. They're actually working on something, I guess. But in spite of also in spite of the renaming. So they were Femboy Films around this time, and I think Kineko, like they turned into Kineko Films around this point. But this was their first upload of the year around this, and this was incredible, and it's gorgeous too. The restoration itself. So what they do, right? They have these restorations which are incredibly effective and interesting and everything, and it's what's sent to them. But what's different from their work in last year, because everything they upload is really interesting, but what's different from that last year to this year was that now, they're also collaborating with folks to get them subtitled as well, like really nicely, and using kind of the YouTube closed caption system as well. Their Super Mario Brothers upload got really viral, had a lot of different articles about it, which was really awesome. Really got their name out there, and hopefully, got more people to send them their films the prints that they had that they can use to get, restore more stuff. And so they really kind of continue that, and they have it. A lot of these, like they have the full film here, subbed, short film, and like all of it is like completed in that way. It's not simply just kind of the raw trailer or an upload of something. Even though these are fantastic and really interesting, I'm not like discounting that at all. They just kind of stepped up their game, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Aside for the video as well, I believe they finally, I think they finally closed captioned, or at least subtitled the interview at the end. I could be wrong. Yeah, here's no, the CNN video special, right, which has the interviews. That might have been subbed, which is great. It's interesting that they uploaded those separately. But yeah, really incredible work. I didn't watch all the stuff that they uploaded. I've been meaning to, especially the Dracula film. I heard very funny things about that. But yeah, just wanted to shout them out as they continue to do really good work. And the other creators, kind of in a similar vein, is Toadette. They spent their year. They're usually one who's doing a lot of world animation, but also doing these stray episodes of manga Nihon, Mukashi Banashi, and like I just love like someone's caring about this sort of stuff. It's fascinating to me. But this year was a big project for them. It was the 50th anniversary of Moomin 1972. And what they did was they went through every single episode throughout the entire year. They went through every episode, and they made a Twitter thread on their account, on their profile, going through the episode, kind of describing the plot, basically, evaluating it, giving it a ranking, like a star rating. And for the ones that were like exceptional or kind of worth sharing, they put them on their channel with English subtitles. And I counted throughout this year, they uploaded like 33 episodes of the 52 episode series. Like most of it. Like that is the majority. But just really exciting and impressive. And for a series that very much got kind of forgotten about, or just is intentionally kind of hidden away because of the author's very vocal and fair. I mean, I don't think it's completely wrong, because it is their work. Completely kind of rejecting it because it's not faithful at all to the books in characterization and story. Not too much a little bit in characterization, but like mostly the story, and just it's not really an adaptation. It's just different. It's very different. A lot of the designs are different, right? And yet, like, it has incredible staff on it, and there's some really good episodes and some really good shots and incredible craft on display, and it's that craft that I think needs to really be appreciated. A lot of them were within the last 2 weeks or so. But it was just really one of the highlights of my year, honestly, following those threads, reading them, and learning about the staff and the kind of production history. I think all of it's going to be combined and consolidated into one article that should be, I would hope, out this month or at some time soon, I would hope. But I said that all this, I've gushed about this on last month's digest, so I apologize if this is just kind of repeating the same thing. But really, and of course, it wasn't all Moomin. It's some other stuff as well. I believe this is the Manga Sekai Mukashi Banashi episode of Three Little Pigs. I could be wrong. It looks like a similar art style to the first episode of that show. I might be wrong. But yeah, Manga Nippon, some others that was from that year. But yeah, like great seeing some of this stuff as well. But mainly the Moomin stuff was just really incredible to see for any show, I think. Any show, especially one that is completely unknown, a complete mystery to any non-English, to any English speaking or non-Japanese speaking people. A little awkward today, but yeah, really appreciate and respect the work here, and really, again, one of the highlights of my year. Yeah. Okay, so next are these creators that I knew about, and it's reviewed some of their videos before, but I think really came up in their, not coming to their own in a way, but it was just, they stood out to me this year, I guess. They were kind of newcomers on my radar that like I had heard about, but then like, oh, I got really invested in their content this year. I hate to call it, sorry to call it content. I don't know if this is a dirty word, you know. But the first one I wanted to mention is Suin, or Account. If you don't know, she was formerly on Podtaku a while, years ago. And just kind of recently wasn't super active, and then suddenly kind of started making videos again as of a year or two ago. And her essay stuff is incredible. Her editing is really some of the best of the game. Like, people say I'm a good editor. Like, my parents and like the other people call me a good editor. It's really hard to be like, yeah, thanks, you know, compared to this. Like, oh my gosh, every video was like incredibly convincing to like immediately dive into whatever she's talking about for myself, which is rare. I think for a lot of YouTube videos that I watch, it's like, that's nice, you know, it's like good for you to kind of look through, you know, to share what they experienced with it and everything. And I'm not saying any of this is to convince you to watch it, right? Or every video is a convince, you know, but I think there's something to be said of just like their passion for it rubs off as infectious to me, where I want to make it my personality too, kind of deal almost, if that makes sense. But really, I had very little interest in Tokyo Ghoul. Hathaway, I heard, was kind of decent. You know, I've seen plenty of Gundam, but it's like I was kind of waiting for the movies to be finished, I guess, because it's the first movie out of several for that. And then, you know, I'm a Digimon fan. I've seen the first 4 seasons of it. I enjoy it. But I like watched the first Digimon try, and I wasn't the biggest fan. I was like, yeah. And then last Evolution Kizuna wasn't really on my radar at all, and it really, she got it on my radar, and it's like, oh, I probably should check that out in an actually convincing way. Really, really incredible stuff, to be honest with you. The craft is insane. Really, really respect and appreciate this stuff. She also streams occasionally. She doesn't keep them, which is fair. But yeah, I've really respected her stuff this year. It's been awesome. Getinthemecha, I think, is completely new for me this year. I don't think I reviewed any of their videos from the previous year. Pretty sure no. I may have heard them. Yeah, I think it may have been starting from this one. And they had a bit of a dry smell, like, whatever. You know, it is what it is. But like, you know, their format, his format is mainly a podcast, and then he's kind of just using it, giving this a visual component. I have yet to check out how anime is divided, but that looks awesome. I love the subject of that, of focusing on title cards, eye catches, etc. The kind of a small detail, but turning into a macro-sized concept. I have to say, like, his passion is so interesting. Like, his just the things he's thinking about, the absolute dedicated attention to the staff, and really championing these names, that it's not just like the director or the studio or something. It's these like up and comers, very like, it doesn't matter if they're a nobody, really. It doesn't matter. He's not really kind of banking off of a certain person's name or something. At least it kind of seems to me, I guess. but giving all due respect and credit where it's due, sorely due, I think. Yeah, and I'm sorry I don't have too much in the concrete details of like this video is great in that way. I really like the water and visual storytelling. But yeah, his videos are very like clean and simple, and it's sort of I feel like it may have rubbed off on me with my own videos where it's like just have the kind of nice background and just show what you need to show occasionally, and don't go make this whole theatrical thing. It feels very, I don't know how true this is, but just the replicability of it, the kind of I was gonna say reproductibility. That's not quite the word. I guess the production process seems very streamlined, and like he's got it figured out in a way that I think works for him. That's just really appealing, and having that small tight group of fans and stuff is just really exciting. Yeah, I'm wishing him well for the next year. I hope he continues a good output. Keep on it. I really like his perspective a lot. His stuff's great. My dude exploded this year. Internet Pitstop really found good traction. Zoomed to 100K, I think, and I'll keep running this thing because look, I you see it as the other creators, right? And we're just like, damn, it's just, but don't worry about it, man. Gosh. I think I started watching his stuff around because I am familiar with. I think it was Anime's Mainstream and That's Okay, and he changed the thumbnail, I believe. But yeah, like it really caught fire with his Pokemon videos. Well, just a lot of his videos, honestly. They just have like really consistent views and everything. And I'm not like a YouTube expert or anything. And I'm sorry, I'm like leaning on that for that first thing. It wasn't even a thing I was mentioning in the other videos. Like the views are kind of a non-quest, even though I'm talking about creators that like under without whatever. I just look at it's a boyoing. It's like booba. Like, when I see view, I'm like, whoa. I don't know. That's just me, I guess. No, but like his videos are so funny, man, and so comfy, and like I love his perspective a lot. I don't know. I have yet to watch a video of his where he's being more critical, to be honest with you. I just like his optimism more, and and so I worry about clicking on a video with Pokemon's new region designs, because I really enjoyed Arceus and Scarlet Violet, so it's hard for me to like get into that sort of thing. And obviously I'm more of an anime channel, so I feel like the other videos like Dark Souls Changed My Life and handheld consoles are things that I'd appreciate. It's not like I haven't touched a video game before, but it's not something that's like I'm excited to see. What really excites me is the stuff like Air Gear video, which is like really good retrospective. Again, he just chooses really great music. He has great humor. Like, it's not the video isn't like pristinely edited in the same way, but it's in a way that like is exciting and creative and fun. Putting himself in different situations. He has the kind of Jakey style of like in front of a green screen and talking and kind of doing whatever with himself, in integrating with the footage and stuff. Although I will, to compliment him, he does a lot more work than Jakey. He does a lot more in the way of images and those creative edits. He puts a lot more work, I think, into the video craft itself. Not to diss Jakey or anything, but I think Jakey's is a lot more minimal and like specific, I guess. Like a lot of similar footage for various videos, which is a funny thing. It's its own thing. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it just feels like every video is different for Internet Pitstop. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on his stuff right now. I really like the Air Gear video. I like the Berserk videos a lot. I think he continued it over here with the Berserk openings and stuff. That's cool. Yeah. I just like this stuff a good deal, and congrats on the success. I don't stop now. keep it up. We're rooting for you, and yeah, it's awesome. It's really good stuff. Okay, I haven't talked about Teeaboo on this channel because there isn't, not often, because there's not really a single video that's like, here mentioned this video in particular. Especially once I've started moving to monthly digest. but especially the last 2 months or so, I've been obsessed. So as you can see, he's a reaction channel, but he's easily the best one. Like there's nobody doing this. And I mentioned it in I think the one reaction video I've talked about with him. I've kind of described some of the Retro Monday overdrives, which I've really enjoyed and appreciated. But oh my god, his stuff is so effing thoughtful. And I only just started also watching series with him, which wasn't as much of a thing for me. I think at first I was really just kind of skipping to his analysis of stuff and maybe checking, like, if there was a scene that I remember, I would hover over that and see what his reaction was, and I'd have that kind of level of curiosity. But around December or so, I decided to start watching Cyberpunk for whatever reason, and so I ended up watching it along with him, and it's phenomenal. I really like his thoughts and like going back and really scrubbing through each and every shot. Not in like the most meticulous detail sometimes. I think it's whatever he finds interesting, what he wants to comment on. But he adds so much value to the things that he's talking about. If you watch it with him, I think it's incredible. I think it's worth it. I'm definitely gonna watch Ranking of Kings with him alongside his series of it. I think he has an entire Monogatari series, although it's very old. And here's the thing. Here's what makes him really interesting for me. If it was just like really insanely good creator, it'd be kind of, just one of the guys. I'd probably still mention him, right? But most especially, let me see if it was around the time he has this radical change. It's around here where he starts the Daily Brew. Daily content. Daily. Every day. And it's like, okay, that's fun for a month. He's still doing it. And the process has evolved. At first, he was just recording a video, just like he would whatever, and just kind of, it was like a live stream, but it was just kind of whatever. And it was his workflow and really just every single damn day, and huge videos too. On top of the reactions that he was doing it, right? And at some point he realizes, well, this was incredibly harrowing, just uploading this as a separate video, because I believe this was part of an Oyasumi Poon Poon reaction, which of course you know about it being very emotionally arresting. So that's incredibly compelling to read with him, I imagine. It might have been a comment as well, that he's reacting to, because he started around this sometime in this area to start the video more with reading other people's comments, and he reads every comment. And look, I could go on and on and on and on. There's just the breadth, the kind of the depth and amount that he's uploading. T has talked about being influenced by Digibro, and Digibro seems to be the only creator that he's brought up. And he doesn't watch other YouTubers because they're for one reason or another, they're compromised in different ways. They take sponsorships, ads on their videos, blah blah blah. And he's trying to make this his full-time thing. This is what he does for a living, kind of deal. And there's a moment where he realizes his format, the thing that's profitable for him, is to do these reaction videos and withhold them a week, and just have them exclusive for patrons, and then release them. And this is a change that he completely gets rid of that content, the early access. And it's like the one big thing. He has a Discord and polls, and like a shout out maybe for one tier, but like that's all he's running on right now. It's so compelling. That's all I can say. I don't know how to it, and it's weird. It's a little like scuzzy almost when I'm reflecting on it, and I take a step back and I'm like, I'm really enjoying this guy's like roller coaster of his like, is he gonna make it? Is he gonna like whatever. I'm enjoying his content, that the main stuff that he's doing with these reactions, but this other stuff where he, like, at some point here with Daily Brew, he makes a second channel and he starts doing it there. And then he just realizes, oh, I should just be live streaming these. And so that it takes out half the time, which is like, yeah, that makes sense. And just like a week ago or two, like, yeah, about a week ago, I think, realizing that the lives are a separate tab. They're not going to clutter the main front page. Now he's just been streaming on the main channel, starting here, new brew and everything. Same idea. I don't know, just the creator journey and just like, and how much he's speaking, it really gives those like Digi, like 2016, 2015, 2016 stuff. Which we, we all know where that ends up inevitably. I think at some point. But that's, T and Digi are not the same person, especially because the way T is really obsessed with morality and doing the right thing and what he feels is right, and being the best version of yourself, and being physically fit and going to the gym and eating right and taking care of yourself. There was one, I don't know if it was his second channel or the other one. I think it was the second channel. One of the daily brews was he's talking about like making the basic essentials list for people just to improve their lives. Like, that's just so interesting and like admirable. I don't know. It was just very compelling. Is the real catch-all for this for me. I could gush about him even more, but that's kind of it. I think he's the creator to watch right now. He's the one I'm most excited about overall. I think, he's not making, I think there's other creators that as videos, which are my preferred thing, the thing that I like making and things I like watching. There are other creators making better videos. But in terms of creator on YouTube, just on YouTube and doing whatever and like uploading things and seeing what happens and everything. Oh, there's no one more arresting for me right now. At least as of right now. This is the thing. It's like every day, I'm not a patron of his. There's more drama coming on as well because of like everything he mentions. It's like he's kind of streaming his daily consciousness almost, and there's a danger to that, and things that he says, and it's like I need to get better communication in places like in here and there, and he's getting a bigger audience, and because of this, I guess parasocial ethos that he's not intentionally building, I don't think, but that's what's happening, and it's very similar to what happened with Digi, I think, and it creates a very fervent, dedicated fan base that can get toxic or can get very emotionally attached to where his comment section, I'm sorry I'm still talking about him, his comment section is very detailed and involved and like there's a lot, and he reads every comment. And so because he reads every comment and there's this like a comment response, that it just kind of feeds into itself. And so it's a cyclone. This is an effing cyclone of what it's not like some people can take it cynically or the other way, right? And I try not to take these things cynically. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just been so, as a fellow creator, as someone who's also had the struggles with like, what do I do with my Patreon? What do I do in this situation? I want to put out more. I want to do this, and struggling with that process. And I'm not even trying to make this my fucking job. I'm just trying to. I'm just doing this for. I don't want to say I'm just doing it for fun or whatever, but like, I'm not doing this for money or a job type of deal. The way he is, where it is like this is affecting his livelihood, and there's actual stakes and consequences to this that he's making for himself. It's just, oh my god. Sorry if I'm still talking about it. You can tell I'm obsessed. I don't know. If I'm this obsessed and I care about this much, I should probably be a patron of his. And yes, I think I might. I probably should. But I don't know. I guess I'm not a patron to my other content creators are friends with me as well. And I'm not, I don't know. I should just go on a big patron spree. But I don't have to afford that. But I could afford it because I could just use my Patreon dollars that I'm making here to spread it to. But how would my patrons feel about that? I don't know. See what I mean? Do you see that these sorts of conundrums that I'm having? You get it? I don't know if you get it or not. I don't know. I maybe spread the. I don't know. I don't know what to do. If you have any thoughts on that particular thing, let me know. Doubt it. Anyway, yeah, it was incredibly compelling. I probably can't wait to see what happens next, I guess, is the way I would put it. One person I'm almost positive I didn't know anything about until this year, Spirit Chaser. Holy crap. Okay, this is where it started. This is definitely the most improved, or just like very impressive growth as a creator. And not really in substance. I think the substance in these videos have always been kind of interesting and like not provocative, I guess, but just very thoughtful and well versed. He's seen a lot of anime, right? And has a very, not high standards, I guess, but I don't know, ways that like cares a lot, really cares a lot. But the improvement really was in the visual component. And I don't want to show many of his videos like he used to do this, but like he would be recording on his phone, you know, and like wouldn't do any cuts, and it'd be like a vertical video or something. I don't know. And the thumbnails have definitely improved, or at least have gotten better. Oh my gosh, he's made so much. Incredibly prolific. But I think they've slowed down a bit in these last few months, now that he started really making like all full like video software, like put the clips in place and everything, and edit it in a polished video way. So that growth was just something that was really exciting and fun to see. But again, I think the videos have kind of speak to themselves. I think they're really great. These two in particular, the ones that I've reviewed on Digest, Technolize is inspirational, not depressing. I think that was a really great message as well. As well as the last great Dazaki anime everyone missed, which is completely true. Because yeah, like no one talks about Snow Queen. I didn't mention Snow Queen at all in my video as well. And so like seeing that was really really interesting and exciting. But then also he does have an investment in anime YouTube as well, and I think that's why he's in part why he's here, because he's grown so much in this. He's seen a lot of the space and has immersed himself in it and wants to see better, and so he's making better. You know what I mean? And that sort of mindset is something I really admire. Yeah, I've really liked his stuff, and there's just someone I want to mention as someone that I was really impressed with their growth, and yeah, really cool stuff. And then another creator that Joe's been around for a while, but I didn't really take as much notice or realize or found them until towards the end of this past year into this year. And I've skipped out on a couple of their videos because I don't know, there were certain topics that I was like, I don't want to film it, like, you know, race, I don't know, certain things, I guess, that were just, I was sick of the topic at the time because they're very hyper relevant. I guess it's like the thing that's bothering him the most on Twitter right now, you know. But like this sex mentor, not that he's bothered by it, but I guess documenting that was really cool. But they're mostly like rant videos. They're very much him being very salty and aggravated over some injustice or thing that's bothering him. And I think for the most part he's been pretty consistent and I think very compelling. And I really like his style of like overstuffed with reaction video, like ways to compel ways to describe how he's feeling with audio and video sound bites, with certain bites that it's very media poisoned almost, but in a way that like too online, I guess, could be a way to describe it. I really like his energy. His humor is great. His delivery is great. And I just watched his because I think I missed it. May have missed it at the time. What makes it so hard to stream shows legally? Just this rant of the whole thing with HBO Max. It can get a little redundant and repetitive, very similar to like a Moist Critical video almost, where it's like kind of repeating the same point almost. But this video, Stop the Mighty Morphin Meat Writing, I didn't know this was an issue. And when he puts it this way, it completely makes sense. And I was like, wow, yeah. Like really convincing me of his position here. Not only like a persuasive, like you have to agree with me, I guess, but in a way that's like, do you see the problem? And it's like, yeah, that's incredible. Like in this particular video, it's that every time they're trying to make Power Rangers relevant, they're just aping on the original series that blew up, and none of the series that people actually grew up with. That like a lot of people Joe's age, and me as well, like him saying this and me reflecting on it, I was like, yeah, I didn't grow up on Mighty Morphin at all. I didn't watch Mighty Morphin when I was on TV. I saw freaking Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, SPD, RPM, you know, these other shows, right? These other series, and that was actually really getting me into Sentai in a way that I don't think Mighty Morphin did. Mighty Morphin was just kind of this own singular anomaly, and it would have some sequels and stuff because the way they tried doing that series was it's actually interesting. I just made this connection in my head just now. I started watching Sailor Moon this year, and I was reflecting on it that like once I finished Sailor Moon, and I'm also watching Sally and Ako-chan, which I believe both were made by Toei. I know Sally was. I'm not sure if Ako was. I'm pretty sure. I feel like it was. But once I finished those, and like I watched the original Pretty-Cure, which I'm hoping to do this year. I've already seen Heartcatch. I've pretty much seen, for the most part, roughly, the entire gambit of Toei's history with magical girls. And one of the things I noticed with Sailor Moon is that they kept making seasons of it, with continuing with the same characters. Whereas the thing that they're biting on, one of the successes of Sailor Moon has to do with being from Sentai, you know, taking the Sentai formula, the Sentai team, more action oriented. There's a lot of things that they're taking from Tokusatsu and Sentai specifically. At least from my perspective, you could argue like, oh, actually, it's the Sunday one with this particular character, this one-off series from the 80s. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. But I think it's mainly Sentai. That's just me. The pitfall that Sailor Moon I think may have run into, as well as Power Rangers here, that I just thought of, both of them really tried to continue as long as possible because it was a hit. Genuine, bona fide, mega super hit. So you got to keep it going until it runs aground, until it dies, you know? And so it ends up having these kind of overstayed welcomes. Sailor Moon lasting 5 seasons, 5 years, 200 episodes, roughly, I think 190 something, but like they weren't full years either. They weren't like 50 episode shows each. None of them hit 50 actually. It's like 46, 43, and the 30s for the last 3. But neither here nor there. But that's contrasted to what Sentai usually does, and what Precure does, and what the Power Rangers, once Disney got it in the 2000s, did, was accept that, you know, you could have a really good season and people will like it, and then hop to the next season with a completely new cast, a new premise, a new setting, and there's something really compelling and interesting about that, and that is actually sustainable for much longer than trying to squeeze the cow of all its milk of the same cow. Just go to a different cow. You just keep doing it, instead of relying on the one cow that gave you an exceptionally large. This metaphor is weird. I'm sorry, but yeah, like overstaying. But this particular, that's not really what Joe's arguing here. The fact that, like, you know, after now being a modern day Power Rangers fan, you got the new seasons, which are just trying to bite off of Mighty Morphin. The new movies are trying to bite off Mighty Morphin, and there's other things that are just like, it's nothing but this, and you can only get merchandise or the seasons and stuff. There's no love and care and attention for these prior series that people actually grew up on, that people actually care about and want to see more of. And they don't want to see more, you know, it's fine if they don't get more of this series. They don't want like a season 2 of RPM or something. It was more that, like, you know, we want to celebrate the shows that they really like. I don't know. There's just something interesting said about that, and I like that. It's like, why do you have to exacerbate this first original hit and everything? Obviously they know why, but lamenting that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked that video, and I really liked pretty much the bulk of Joe's videos this year. They were really fun. And these last 5 are ones that I've known for a while. I consider a little more old guard almost, or they're mainstays, if that makes sense. Not like the big guns or anything for some of them, but really creators that I've talked to personally. I like to think that I'm friends with that also weren't on last year's list again. But yeah, that also had like really good years and stuff. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't talk about Beyond Ghibli last year, and I think it was just that like there wasn't a particular, because like what the fuck, he made like the mother video. Like, I'm so sorry, Joe. I don't know why I didn't mention you last year when I was watching it. I was just like, I didn't mention Joe, what the fuck. And it's no different this year. It's a similar with, who was I saying it to, Suin, where like every single video you put out really motivated me to watch the show you're talking about, and not just in like, oh, that's nice, like good for you, like talking about this thing, it's fun, okay, my curiosity is maybe 10% piqued, and I'll fully admit that I haven't gone to actually doing that and move forward as like, this got me to watch this show or whatever that I love now, and thanks. I'm a little too over the hill for that. I'm a little iceberg level deep in. I have my own plans, but Steins Gate is definitely one of the shows that I have planned for 2023. Aegis Rim is 13 Sentinels. I just look at Aegis and sorry, 13 Sentinels specifically. That game, I really like that video from you, and anticipate to play it on Switch sometime this year. I want to do more gaming to look into that, but maybe turn it into content. No. The Haruhi video, same thing. Place for in the universe. Golden Kamui, I think. If I had to pick, it'd either be the 13 Sentinels or the Golden Kamui video. It might be 13 Sentinels, but yeah, I liked all of them really. And of course, because I really liked that. I think there was something about some of the gods that it ended up being a little bit more of a, not just kind of demonstrating the show and it's like, here's a cool show whatever, not to discredit the other videos you've made, but it, like, I don't know, there was something about Summit in particular. I don't know if I mentioned it in a digest or not, but like, I guess I'm just reflecting on it now. I was like, oh, you didn't say that in the digest. I don't know, but like, there's something more bigger than the video, than the media you're talking about. It's kind of talking about a greater idea, and not to say that the others weren't doing that, I guess. I think there is something to be said about that with the Kamui video or Place Further Than Universe, but it's definitely more palpable in Summit, I think. There was just something about it. I'm sorry, I'm not like being specific. I guess it's the title or something like that really evokes that for me. But I like your stuff. I won't discuss our there might be other reasons why I'm talking about your channel now, in light of certain things that we've discussed about that I won't say here. But let me just say that I've really enjoyed your videos, and yeah, it's great. They're fantastic. I'm looking forward to next year, whatever you got. Hayden Loves Anime. Jesus Christ. And I just realized you took off a lot of videos, or unlisted a lot of them. I think some videos that I may have covered in digest as well, for one reason or another, that aren't here. I think I have the logic for it, but even the thumbnails have been redesigned, I believe, because I don't recognize some of them. But yeah, like, I love your thumbnail style. I love the general, and I've talked about Hayden's videos, I think, pretty frequently, but this year, like a week ago, I really appreciated everyone's response to my video, kind of complaining that my own disappointment in myself for only uploading 2 videos, even though they're pretty good, and like, sorry to self-aggressize myself. What I'm trying to say is, like, I was disappointed that I got 2 videos out. Hayden only did 2 videos this year, and they're bangers. There's nothing to be disappointed about, and the quantity, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's only 2. It's insane. Both these videos have so much in them, including money. Just hearing about yeah, this is $1,000 for this. I was like, but just the amount of care, effort, creativity, list goes on. You really got to be checking these videos out. I would want to probably rewatch these other ones that you've left public, just to have an idea more of kind of what, like, these are the honed in. He's the ones I really like, in particular. I think that's really interesting. But yeah, both Cat Soup and Gimmick, I think they're pretty equal for me, I think, and I'm happy they're doing pretty okay. Because what I've heard, right, with Bonsai Pops mentioned this to me, where what you should consider a success on YouTube for you, it depends on your channel size, right? If it exceeds your sub count, it's a good video. Like it's a successful video. If it's even a third of your subscriber count, it's a pretty good video. I could be misinterpreting it. Obviously, we want big number to go up. Like, there's no denying that. But for you to have just about 1,500 subs, and each of your videos are over 2K, with the exception of the Heart and Soul of Yu-Gi-Oh, which I know you're very proud of, and that's a very watershed, pivotal moment for your channel and your content, I think. Which it totally makes sense that's still up there. Now that's to say that like the views matter, and like if it didn't get enough views, you remove it or something. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I guess even that video, the Yu-Gi-Oh one, is over your sub count in terms of views. So all of your videos are successes, is what I would like to say. But like, obviously we want them to be bigger and everything, and I hope this video does something to convince even a couple of people to check them out. But yeah, they're really phenomenal stuff, and I'm strongly looking forward to the next one. Yeah, it's God, it's really again top class. Like it's kind of an upper echelon at this point. There's I think I obviously have to kind of revise like my favorite YouTubers and stuff based on activity and other new videos that other people have made and everything. But you're definitely in there at this point, I think. Yeah. That is just it really is it makes me feel bad that I'm sort of stepping away from like the big extravagant thing. Not completely up. I mostly am. Because it's like I'm missing out on competing even close to the type of output that you're putting in here. Unfucking real. Unreal shit. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. Really good. Congratulations on the output this year. It's worth being proud of. 100%. Yeah. Man, you know how to probably a damn good year, at least for videos. I don't know. We don't talk often enough to really know how you're doing. I hope you're doing well. But hiding in public, boy, bangers alert. Like this was weird. If you follow Digest right, you get like, I think it was 2 in a row of like best of the week. It's not really on the designated title, so at the moment it really is like kind of my favorite for the last one. But and hiding gets that twice, and let's fucking go. This video was incredible too, and Bad Anime Convention was also really welcome. I'll admit I haven't caught up on your latest stuff so much. I do want to check out the Bochi videos, I think. And if, I can't possibly forget the private channel was really where all the activity was happening this year. Unbelievable. I think it's technically close to over a year. Not quite. Yeah, there was some videos that were happening from 2021, but like the majority of it was from this year, culminating in effing 10 hours. I'm happy it's doing good. I'm happy it's at least over 100K, man. But like the most comprehensive, thorough analysis of anything, any one single piece of media, I feel like anyone can ask for. And I think it's something that you are securely proud of. Like, again, I'm not in your head. I would hope I would imagine you're insanely proud of it. I can't even begin to think of it. And the fact that it was all done in a year, that it was actually achieved, is very remarkable to me. And you were way more. It was way longer and more thorough than anything I was making. Yeah. Sorry, I keep making this about me. What can I say? I'm making it's me. What do you? It's me. I don't know. But like the stuff that you're doing with the editing in these videos, but even like kind of breaking convention with just like what you're talking about and the way you're talking about them and the sporadicness of it was so compelling and interesting to watch. It's some of my favorite videos of this year. but even just stuff that was a little different outside the box and everything. Again, I apologize. I'm not the most avid follower of your channel. I don't think there's a single channel where I'm like, I watch every upload by this person, except Cineclinic and Steve'em. And Gil, I think. No, there's certain ones I do, and no offense. Why did I say this? God damn it. I was fucking bury myself in a hole. I was gonna keep listing them too. I should stop. That's enough. But yeah, no, incredible stuff. And again, it's like I feel like we should talk more. Yeah, I loved this stuff. It was really great. Yeah, I hope you have a good year this coming year. I hope you're doing well. Motally Tot Nark. This dude had a year, and again, these last two are the actual big guns. Like, oh yeah. Nearly 1 million subscribers. Nearly. We're getting there. He grew probably insanely, because he, started the the year with quite the rocky thing. I think it was mostly like it kind of started around 2021, but his entire channel was in jeopardy. Like 60 of his videos were taken down by Toei. And it was a giant dispute. Philip DeFranco talked about it. PewDiePie talked about it. Oh my gosh. It was really surreal to see this huge storm of people. And it worked out. A good chunk. I think almost all of them. And it's really funny to look at this in hindsight, or to look back on this, when like towards the end of the year, you look at his channel, and it's like, Dragon Ball. Oh my god, we're back. Dragon Ball. Nothing. But maybe it's because like his series might be incomplete. I haven't looked at it myself. There might be some videos missing in holes and spots maybe. So we may have just like re-edited and compiled them in that way. Don't want to. No, never mind. Again, I'm not an avid watcher of his channel. I've enjoyed a lot of his stuff. Some not so much. This one was not great, not good. At least I'm pretty sure I gave it a not good. Reviewed all of Bleach, well, most of Bleach. He is waiting for 1,000 Year Blood War to be done animating before he reviews it. Even though he's reading it, he doesn't watch anime. I mean, he watches it, but like he's not reviewing. When he does these these Bleach reviews and Chainsaw Man reviews and Naruto reviews, he's using footage of the anime, but he's not talking about the anime at all. He's probably seen like clips and some episodes and some select stuff, but like doesn't deal with it at all. Which I find to be very frustrating. And I guess he has a point when he talks about his experience with Bleach before, where he really actively turned it off trying to watch it. All right, I don't have that issue with the anime, I guess, but sure, go off. Whatever. I also like this one, his $10,000 manga collection, and that gives a little peek and insight into kind of his thought process and what he has and what he's planning on, what he could be covering next. I think he set some goal. He listed some goals for 2023 that were pretty exciting. One of them was that Your Name video that like he is like hit a lot of personal attachment and journey to. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. I think that'll be really good. I'm a little sick of the like compilation videos of sorts, but they work. He needs the money, he needs the food. I get it. So I mean, all that's really impressive. But yeah, I just want to talk about it because I think he had an especially eventful year, finishing going through Berserk, finishing Naruto, catching up to Berserk, basically all of Chainsaw Man Part 1, and then all of like most of Bleach, and just a lot of stuff. I just think he just had a particularly impressive year that I wanted to highlight. Of course, not to mention the start of the year, with the Toei stuff, which was like ruckus, crazy event happened this year. Yeah, just wanted to mention him. I think it was really compelling. And finally, we're gonna end this digest on Trash Taste. Yes, I do want to congratulate Trash Taste on having quite the exceptional year. I think it was really exciting to follow all the way through. Not that I watched every single one of their podcasts or anything, but even the individual creators, I think each of them had a pretty good year in like just continuing their growth and everything. for personally and professionally. I think Joey starting his clothing brand, Gart getting married, and Connor having this incredible. He had that chess boxing thing, which is a huge boon, hopefully. But like doing really well with streaming and everything. Not to mention just like their tour, and their U.S. tour, and then while in L.A., like finally visiting the United States, like because the country was opening up again. Going on various convention circuit and talking with these other bigger YouTubers. Finally getting PewDiePie on Trash Taste, and their specials were great too. With the journey across all of Japan was fun. I'm looking forward to more specials. I think they have a recorded version of one of their live shows, which will be exciting. Hopefully, they're coming out soon. There's just a lot of drama and like really compelling and engaging to watch their stuff and see what they'd be up to next. Chris Broad as well. He's friends with them, and he's not officially Trash Taste, but he's had a number of appearances. They also did that that subathon, like After Dark. I think they did a 24-hour stream or something like that. But then Chris Broad as well, his fitness journey and all this stuff, and getting his life goal of interviewing Ken Watanabe. I'm sorry I don't have his channel up right now. I kind of wanted to lump it in with Trash Taste, basically. And the chess boxing event was incredible. It was really fun and exciting and cool to see. It was just a lot of fun. I don't know. It's just like all that stuff was. They're the biggest. They're the most mainstream you can get right now. They're the top of the world right now for anime related stuff. But the thing is, right? They're tapping into that precise thing of like where anime YouTube is going, where it's not really hyper specific niche focused, like hyper attentive and like series by series or breaking down in little pieces and stuff. It really is more mainstream, surface level anime as lifestyle. Did you see Chainsaw Man? Yeah, that was cool. And obviously like Gart made a Chainsaw Man video. He's the only one that's making consistently like still anime videos. He's not really like, I wouldn't say Joey is much of an anime YouTuber this year, pretty much at all. If you look at his channel, it really is a lot more experiential Japan stuff. I think he was able to kind of put himself out there more, try different things. But again, like in his second channel, I think was pretty well received and doing well. I don't know. It's just inspiring and interesting to watch their creative journeys this year, especially just like doing this incredibly bold stuff of a fucking tour and everything that they're doing. I guess it's just really compelling. I'm looking forward. I don't know what happens from here. That's the one thing that's like, where do you go from here? What do you do next? I don't know. There's probably bigger stuff, but like, gosh, it's really exciting. I guess that unknown is kind of it. It's the same thing with everybody, right? I guess I can loop that back into all of us, right? With digest, where is anime YouTube at the moment? It's weird. It's not 2017. I'll tell you that. A lot of people, there's people still around, but a lot of people have stopped, and you don't know when they're gonna stop until they've stopped for a while. And it's like, oh, they haven't uploaded in a while. Yeah, like I realized that with Neuralities, for example, 8 months ago, and that's not to guilt anyone. I had a fucking gap of 8 months with fucking Ninku to the Hinata video. Like, I get it. Like, there's no shame in that. But there's that vibe, right? And I think all of us have felt that on YouTube. It's like, oh, when's their last upload? 2 years ago. Damn. It's we miss them, but they're not dead. Most of them. I don't know if anybody that's passed away, but like, you hope they're doing well. That's all I care about. But yeah, it's just a different landscape, and then new people who take their place, right? Isn't that interesting? It's like I was the top dog. I was like one of the big ones in 2014, 15, 16. Not me personally. I was never. And yet I'm still here. I couldn't tell you why. There's some other YouTubers that are like that is like, wow, you still make vids. Okay. And they're like, thanks. You know. I don't know. It is a little power, I guess. I don't know how many of you guys watch these days. Digest at least. Let me know. I always heart, if you've never noticed the pattern, I usually with Digest I heart the creator if I've talked about them in a video. And then for just general stuff, and I did this with my I'm Not Happy video, I really do take consideration, care when it's a fellow person who's made videos. Not to say that the other comments that don't are lesser than. There's some people that follow my stuff that I'm really grateful and appreciative for their support, and even just showing up and commenting and being a fan. You know, I think this is awesome. But you know, that perspective, I feel like I've talked about this. This is something I felt for a long time, that like there is something, you can only ever understand this stuff unless you make videos yourself. You know, I think there's such a thing as being on the sidelines, watching the game, versus playing the game, and eventually the game stops. Eventually the game finishes, and they're not playing anymore. The game's over, you know? And some people make it a very official statement, like Ygg Studio, and other people, they leave the door open, but it never happens. And that's okay, you know? Again, I don't ever want to do like a post-mortem unless they've actually actively said that they've stopped or something. I don't know, there's people that do that, but like, no, it's fine. I think it's cool if you want to close the door or leave it open, do whatever. I think, again, that's the freedom of YouTube, right? That's one of the cool things about it, is it, you know. But yeah, I don't know if that left that kind of a dour note or weird. I don't know what kind of note you call that. It's like, that's what we're gonna end it on. Jeez, okay. I don't know. I guess it's not doom and gloom, because you never know. You never know with these things. They could be on the top of the world the next month. Time moves quick. Time moves weirdly quick. It was today. I don't know why I'm still recording. Sorry. This guy's still talking? He probably clicked off. I don't know. I was just working today at my old college. Not at my an event that for the job that I do happened to be taking place at the college I used to go to, right? And so I'm on my commute home, and you know, I'm driving down streets that I haven't driven down in a while, and the buildings are different. And it's like, does time really move that quick? I feel like when I was a kid, like, things didn't change this often. And now, things change all the time. And they always change. Things change. But it was just bigger things that you wouldn't think change. Things that you consider a mainstay or a habit. You know, and it probably was the case with Digest maybe for some people, which I guess I apologize. I don't know. I guess I apologize. I didn't fully feel like apologizing, only for the fact that like it's not a big deal. But I think for some people it is, you know, and I have to be appreciative of that. Yeah, I actually, for what little platform this has, you know, it's nothing to sniff at in my opinion, but it is something, and it's a platform, and I should treat it the same way other people, you know, person with 1 million subs would have, I guess. Something to keep in mind, I guess. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next year for myself, for everyone on this list, for everyone I didn't mention, which I hope you don't feel too bad if I didn't mention you, of course. But you know that I'm still subbed. I don't really unsubscribe from people. I really don't. I'm not. It's not really, unless they're toxic and it's like I need to avoid you. And it's a certain thing. Other than that, no. Let me know. Reach out. It's cool. Yeah. I'll shut up now. You guys have a good month. I'll hopefully see the end of the month or whatever I choose to do. I'll just fucking do whatever. That's fun. That's fun in its own way. You guys have a great month. And have a good year. 2023, baby. Let's kick its ass. Yo, peace.